I used to think there was something wrong with me until I realized connection is an art and nobody teaches us how to paint. Until I found this one book that changed everything. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People is not about fake smiles or manipulation. It's about real power. The soft kind, the magnetic kind, the feminine kind that makes people feel seen, heard, and never forget you. This isn't a review. This is how that book rewired the way I show up in the world. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming genuinely interested in other people. And that was the first slap of truth. I used to obsess over how I looked, what I said, and whether people liked me. But I never asked, do I even care about them? I finally learned the paradox: to be liked. Stop trying to be likable. Start listening instead. And I'm not talking about nodding politely while waiting for your turn to speak. I mean, lean in, ask questions, get curious, lose yourself in their story. That's when people open up, and that's when connection becomes real. A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language. It sounds silly, right? But do you know how seen someone feels when you remember their name? Not just in passing, but really remember. Pronounce it right. Say it with care. It's like telling someone you matter enough for me to carry a piece of you with me. That's magnetic. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. This one shifted my friendships forever. Instead of waiting for people to talk about my world, I stepped into theirs. Ask your barista about their experience. Ask your Uber driver why they chose that playlist. Ask your friend about her poetry, her baking, her messy room she's embarrassed about. When you speak someone else's language, you unlock a new level of connection. Because we all crave the same thing: to be seen for who we really are. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you genuinely complimented someone with detail? Not just "you look cute," but something about your energy today makes this whole room lighter. When you give sincere, specific praise, you're not just being nice. You're giving someone a mirror they didn't know they needed. And in a world that constantly tells us what we're not, being someone who reflects what people are, that's powerful. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. I used to be that girl who avoided it at all costs. Or worse, exploded after bottling things up too long. Carnegie's advice: don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Instead, approach people with grace, with questions, with curiosity instead of judgment. Instead of saying, "Why are you always late?" say, "Hey, I noticed this keeps happening. Is everything okay?" It's not about being passive. It's about being effective. Let the other person feel that the idea is theirs. This one felt sneaky at first until I realized it's just empathy. No one likes being told what to do, but we all love feeling smart, capable, and respected. So instead of pushing your way into the spotlight, guide the light toward them. Ask questions that make them arrive at the insight themselves. Give them the space to choose. Empower them to lead. That's how influence is built. not forced. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. I used to think charm was about being funny, loud, or mysterious. Now I know charm is about how you make people feel about themselves. Not intimidated, but illuminated. You want to be unforgettable. Make people feel unforgettable in your presence. Tell your friend that her laugh made your day. Tell your coworker that their idea inspired you. Tell your mom that the way she always makes tea is your favorite comfort in the world. That's the kind of woman people remember, because that's the kind of woman that makes others feel seen. Reading this book wasn't just about being liked. It was about unlocking a kind of femininity I didn't know I had. A femininity that's not about being soft-spoken but soft-hearted. Not about being passive but powerful in a gentle, graceful way. It reminded me that we don't influence through dominance. We influence through presence, through warmth, through understanding. Since I started applying these lessons, my relationships feel deeper. I don't walk into rooms trying to impress. I walk in trying to connect. I feel magnetic not because I'm loud, but because I listen. And most of all, I started attracting people who love me for who I am, not who I pretend to be. If you're a girl who's ever felt invisible or tired of chasing validation, or wondering why some people just draw others in with ease, read this book, but more importantly, live it. Make people feel seen. Listen like it's an art. Celebrate people's souls. And don't just try to win friends, try to love them better. Because when you do that, you become the kind of woman who changes lives quietly, gracefully, and forever. And that is real power. If this spoke to your heart, I would love for you to subscribe, leave me a little note in the comments, or just send some love. Your presence here is a gift, and I'm so grateful you chose to spend your precious time with me.